Hey guys, how doing? Shaw here. This fight was on the same card as Super One versus Alazov yesterday. It's Rodtang versus a Chinese opponent. I think his name's Yidou, but we'll see it in a second. Rodtang, we all know, is a beast. He's got good wins over Jonathan Haggerty, Daniel Mini T. Williams, who I trained with in Australia before, Petchdam, also, the Thai monster. So, yeah, let's get into it. We'll have a look. It's always good fun to watch. Expect to see him just come forward and try and take control of the cage really quick. He doesn't really take a backward step ever. I did catch a brief bit of this yesterday, but this is my first time watching it properly. Yeah, straight away you can see like he's pressuring forward. He throws everything hard too. See, even that, but what he just did there, his opponent just teeps. He just moves, parries out of the way and pushes straight forward. I mean, pretty much all he does is go forward. But he's so good at it that he even puts people off attacking him. And the way that he does attack like that but just pushing forward all the time takes his opponent's power away. It's very difficult to hit hard and to try to sit on your punches when you're going backwards like that. I mean, you can see he's evasive too. Look at that. Make him miss and then punish him afterwards. He's got caught low there.
Rodtang, as you alluded to, will always continue to come forward. He will take shots, doesn't matter. He cuts off angles and keeps the pressure on the entire fight.
Yeah, I mean, look at him, just super aggressive. And, even though that kick was he was still in range for that kick, kind of. It didn't land with the shin. It was like too far away. Throwing bombs here. Look at this. Let's have a look. See how he pushes his opponent to the cage, but then he has his legs really wide so he can sit on his shots properly. And not only that, it kind of gives his opponent nowhere to escape to. So let's have a look. I'll try and break it down a little bit. So there, look, you can see he's sitting on his shots a little bit. You expect to see him do this a lot. Oh, that was I think he was just trying to kick his back leg. I don't think there was anything in it. Let's have a look. Yeah, that happened. It's an accident, but it happens. So yeah, look for him to get control of the cage, and then when he does like that, when he gets him against he's back against the cage like that, he really starts to sit on his shots. Look at that. It's a great thing to do, and the way that he's standing means his opponent isn't left with anywhere to escape to. Like if he goes that way, he's walking onto this side. If he goes that way, he's walking onto that side. So look how well he does that. See, his opponent was lucky to get away there. In a ring, he wouldn't have been able to because you get stuck into that right angle corner. The cage is a little bit more forgiving. Personally, I struggle to cut people off in a cage like that. Just sits on him and starts throwing bombs. I mean, his opponent just can't get his feet underneath him to try and fight back. Yeah, I mean, he's just constantly pressuring forward. I don't really think that was much of anything. I'm going to watch that again. It wasn't really a knockdown. It was more that he was off balance because Rodtang stepped in with it. But we'll probably show it again from a different angle in a second. See, I don't understand the way that... So he just got counted. But Superbon versus Alazov, Superbon got dropped. And even though the ref checked that he was okay, I don't think he counted him. Trying to get him out of there. extremely powerful and explosive. Relentless, isn't he? You know, when she's got that his momentum going, that's it. Okay, I'm just gonna skip this forward a little bit. This guy also lives on my street. He's the happiest, jolliest Russian man you've ever seen. Anatoly. Look at him. You drive past him and he does that. He's just really happy guy.
Oh, look at that left hook. Beautifully timed on Rodtang as he connected there, but
Yeah, I mean that was just an accident.
across the body and he connected low.
But I think that you can see that was more being off balance.
Every time
Yeah.
Jidou Yibu is trying to throw something, Rodtang is just a step ahead.
I don't think the ref was wrong to count him. You know, that like to him it would have looked like he did get dropped with a punch and whatever. But yeah, it's a shame that would have probably made the round a 10-8 rather than a 10-9 for everybody.
So much pressure on him that he's just starting to show up as Rodtang comes forward, and he's going to have to implement. Difficult to do this, easier said than done, but implement some counter striking.
Yeah, I mean straight back onto it. Look, and you can just see that thing that he's doing where he just pushes you against a cage and then tries to hold you there. His opponent Jidou, he's got some nice boxing of his own that he's throwing back. It's just that he can't get his feet underneath him to throw it effectively. Like I said, it takes all of your power away, so you end up just throwing arm punches when you're moving back like that. Yeah, so because he's moving back, like I said, with the power, it means that Rodtang can kind of take these shots a little bit more comfortably than he would I don't think if Rodtang was going backwards, I don't think he'd be dropping his hands and doing that then. He's definitely built from something different though. Rodtang's shown a good variation of attacks as well. He's not your typical Muay Thai style guy where he'll really sit behind his back leg kick or his clinching. He's he does mix it up really well. See, even that. So you'll see, like, it's one of Rodtang's things that he does. He does like a little jumping knee to your body, but I think he does it more just to push you back, and then once you go back, he lands forward and just keeps throwing shots at you. Then, so it's just another way. If you do start to resist going back, he'll just throw himself at you and push you back that way. Super smart at what he does, and I mean, look at that little flurry there. Mixing it up high, low, he's very good. Those two low kicks he threw some power into. I actually couldn't find anything about his opponent. I looked online and I couldn't find a record for him or anything. Rodtang was meant to fight the same guy that Superlek for later on this card. A Spanish guy, Daniel Puertes, but something happened with the titles and they changed opponents, so Rodtang now fought this guy who I think looks like an interesting prospect. He's sharp and whatever. He's just not ready for this caliber of opponent yet. I mean, in fairness, not many people are. Like, Rodtang pretty much does this to everybody, but I mean, he's, as I say that he's having to go back with Rodtang, but yeah, I think Rodtang's probably had 300 fights at this point to prepare for this one, and his opponent maybe I'd say maybe had a maximum of like 50 fights, but I'd be surprised if he had that many. And I don't mean that by like his quality of like strikes or anything like that. He looks like an experienced striker and everything. It's just there's a difference between a guy that's had 50 fights and a guy that's had 300 fights.
The better Rodtang starts to
He's
feel,
throwing really nice boxing. I mean, even that head kick, it's just that he just hasn't got the power behind him to deal with Rodtang like that.
southpaw there with the right jabs, landed 4 clean little shots.
Those jabs that Rodtang was just throwing there, look how he's doing them.
These nice little
Just
jabs,
walking forward, just pushing his head back like that.
with the right jabs, landed 4 clean little shots. Switching up the stances, I like that from Rodtang, showing us something.
When someone is moving back and you're doing that to them, it's so much easier to throw all of your power at them. Rodtang's 12-0 in kickboxing at this point, so I think he obviously he's going to win this one. I think he might be 13-0 in one kickboxing now. I mean, look how well he mixes up his boxing. I'm just going to show that combination again. And I'm probably annoying some people. Look at that. I mean, how he does it all, and he switches stance really well. Not many guys that can do it as well as him. And then pops his tongue out afterwards.
Switching to southpaw, throwing that right-handed jab.
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't allow himself to get pushed back, does he? See, that's the knee I was talking about, where he kind of jumps in and to force you back. You see, once he gets that backwards momentum going, then you're in trouble. Unless you can really work your angles. See, he's just playing with him here, throwing those little jabs like that. And look how evasive he still is.
Playing pitter pat with that jab there, kind of playing around into that combination, and then immediately switch direction from way back. I'll tell you though, what you were saying before about Mitch, it was been tough.
Choosing to sort of stay at a range now. I mean, Rodtang knows it is one, and I think he's always respectful to his opponent, even though he does his showboating and whatever else. He's always really respectful afterwards, and yeah, I mean, he probably doesn't want to do more damage than he needs to. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, he's probably the most fun guy to watch at the moment, other than Alazov. Man, that video yesterday, he was a killer. I mean, his poor opponent's found his feet a little bit too late now. And look, you can see that he's, now he's starting to come forward and he's starting to, hold his ground a little bit, but it's just a little bit too late. Anyone that any of my students, I really try and get them to practice that ring control. It's something like that, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but it was something that I was good at. I was a pretty good going forward fighter, and trapping off the ring like that and moving to one side to draw them onto attacks, move to the other, draw them onto different attacks, and it's a great skill to have, and you can get away with being a little bit less fit when you do that. It's almost like if you play squash, the best player doesn't really have to move their feet too much. They just manipulate the other guy to have to go everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I called this video "Can Rodtang be beaten?" It's a bit of a clickbait, but of course he can. Look, super respectful there. I like to see that. But yeah, of course he can be beaten. It's just he'd be a nightmare to prepare for. He's helping his opponent with a cut that he quite kindly gave him. But yeah. He can be beaten. He'd just be a nightmare to prepare for. I think you really have to work your angles with him, and you've got to be prepared to go to war. Because he's going to try and kill you. And he'll laugh at you while he's doing it, and everything else. But hats off to his opponent. And I think it was a mismatch, but he made a case for himself. If there are any fights that you want me to react to, or maybe even your own fights or training videos, I've linked my socials in the description. So yeah, just send them over, and you know, be happy to make one of these videos for you. Okay, have a great day, guys.